Big round of applause.
Hi, I'm Ben, and I would like to share with you a journey I've been on, learning all about being wrong as a product manager. So, first of all, I'd like to start off with how I ended up here. So, I have not been very formally trained in being a PM. And see, for most of my career, I've been an engineer. I still am at heart an engineer. It's a daily struggle for me not to get bogged down with the technical bits. I have to remind myself that's not what I'm here for anymore. I did make an accidental transition over a couple of years into product work until I became a full-time product engineer, product manager, and moved to a new company and a new industry. Now, as part of this, this little sliver there has been the only time in my career that I've been reporting to another product manager. All here, I was through engineers, and here I'm to a CEO. So formal learning has been minimal, so hopefully I can share how I learned why we do the product manager things, instead of just reading from the books and courses what we do. So, being right. I came from an engineer background. My job was usually to do the right thing, make the thing that works, gotta be right. It feels really good.
Yeah.
You do a thing, it works, job done. And I started off being a PM, trying to do the same. I would have my idea, and I would be convinced this is the thing we're going to do. And to be honest, usually it did work. I'll leave that there for a minute, because one day I was wrong. And not just I focused on this feature over that feature, not just this bit of product was focused at the wrong bit of market. We had invested in getting an early adopter of a new product. I had taken what we're doing into them, and it just did not resonate with the way they work in their environment. There were some things that we hadn't foreseen. I took this call with them, introduced them to it as our pilot practice, and I could tell from that call that I'd done it wrong. So yeah, I had to have a little sit down, quiet moment to myself, and I'm not sure exactly why, but I had a moment of clarity, and I had noticed that we were wrong. And that, as a PM, is where you can really add your value. Because under the old way of doing things, where you have managers deciding what we're going to do and then have a 3-month worth of thing to the teams to just go and build, you wouldn't have noticed. Anybody else in the company, without doing all the product work, you wouldn't have noticed. But I realised at that point, what I had done, I had, in taking on this pilot practice, instead of, I took on a pilot practice because that's what you do, but then I realised why I've done it. It's because it's a quick way to just bring something very quick to them and test it. The reason to test is to find out if you're right or wrong. If you are always going to be right, there is no point testing. No point in doing experimentation. What's the point of having a product manager team? It's what we're here for. So, the value of being wrong. Product work includes, not all the job, but it includes finding out where you are and deciding where to go next. Now, finding out where you are. If you want to find out exactly where you are, that's going to take you way too long. And by the time you found out where you are, the market's moved on, and you're probably wrong anyway. So, in doing this, you have to take risks. If you were to find out exactly where you are, so all the research to make sure your experiment's going to be a success, then you're probably too late, you've taken too long over it. You can then notice that you were wrong, and you can realise that negative findings can be just as valuable as positive, because from this particular incident, I was able to continue working with the partner company, and we found out actually a better way of working around their rest of their ecosystem, and we did make something that was a lot better, and it solved the problem that we exposed during the initial experiment. So, how best to be wrong? There's lots of ways to be wrong. Some are bad, some are good. So, it's basic product craft. I don't need to talk about that. You're all either mostly product managers or aspiring to be them. I'm sure you've read the books. So, experiment safely. Understand what is or isn't a reversible decision. Of course, that's not yes or no, it's a spectrum. Some things are a bit reversible. And acknowledge that the thing that you're taking out to the market is not the final product. It's an experiment. Acknowledge it's yourself so that you know, I've done a thing, I don't have to put my heart and soul into it. It's an experiment, it's not the end of the world. And acknowledge it to the rest of your company. If there's people who don't understand product work, make sure they know so there's not too much pressure on you. If you were wrong, as I was on this time, don't hide it. I had these thoughts to myself. I came into our company stand-up in front of everybody and I was able to tell everybody. The experiment yesterday, it was not what I hoped it would be as a result. And I could explain why we got to that position, so why we had taken the decision in the first place, because the information we had at the time would lead anyone to that. But it just didn't turn out that way. So celebrate what we learned and understand where you can use that to go next. And finally, I'm sure there's some more seniors in the room, all those to aspire to be. How to help other people to be wrong? Anyone can do it. So, you're a product leader, you have other product management reports to you. You need to foster a safe psychological environment. Don't reward or punish people based on whether their experiments are successes or failures. Look at how they approach the process. I mean, were they safely experimenting? Were they learning in the right way from the market or from whatever other inputs they might have? Were they putting themselves in the right position to learn the right things? And to teach others, in fact. Even outside the product organisation, you can educate others in your company about your methods. Because pressure on your reports doesn't only come from you. A PM has sent their engineers making something. If the PM, a junior PM realises what they've told an engineer to do isn't right for the market, less experienced engineers might be quite upset that they've got to throw away part of their work and go a different direction. So the more you can educate other areas of the company, the more people can be accepting of the mindset of this is not the final thing, you are going to do some throwaway work, you are going to change directions, but we're eventually going to get in the right way, even if we didn't go directly there. And then, we can just help create safe processes. So, all I can do now is summarise. Accept it. You will be wrong sometimes. As I said, that's why you're here. If you were just going to be right, you're almost certainly not the smartest person in your company. There will be people smarter than you in other companies as well. If you can have a good idea, so can somebody else. You'll get to this to learn. So don't know being wrong. Celebrate your unique value as a PM, which is noticing people are wrong. And finally, if you're in a position to do so, create a safe environment for others to be wrong. And that's all I have.